All right, let's dive into something that's quickly becoming a need-to-know skill: prompt engineering. Basically, it's the art of talking to AI in a way that actually gets you what you want? It's about turning those frustrating, dead-end conversations into something genuinely useful.
Oh, we have all been there. You've got this incredible, super powerful AI right at your fingertips. You ask it what seems like a simple question, and what you get back is just blah, generic, not helpful, maybe it completely misses the point. It's super frustrating, but the fix is usually way simpler than you might think.
Okay, so check this out. This is a perfect example. You type in, "Tell me about climate change." The AI comes back with a dictionary definition. Sure, it's technically not wrong, but it's totally useless, right? You can't do anything with that. And this gets to the absolute core of what we're talking about today. The problem isn't the AI, it's how we're asking.
So that leads us right into our first big idea. It's not about waiting for a smarter AI. It's about us becoming smarter communicators. We need to learn how to speak its language to really unlock what it can do. And that right there is prompt engineering. It's a skill. It's all about designing and structuring your instructions, your prompts, to guide the AI to the exact kind of response you're looking for. The key words here are accurate, relevant, and appropriate. You see, it's less about asking a question and more about giving a really good set of directions.
I absolutely love this analogy because it just makes sense. You're the director, the AI is your star actor. If you just tell an actor, hey, be dramatic, who knows what you'll get? But if you give them a backstory, a motivation, specific lines, you get an incredible performance. It's the exact same thing with AI. Your prompt is your direction.
So let's start building our director's toolkit, shall we? First up, we gotta understand the basic kinds of instructions we can give our AI actor.
So here we have the three basic types. First, you've got your direct prompt. This is when you know exactly what you want. Write a poem? Simple. Then there's open-ended, which is for brainstorming or exploring ideas. You give the AI room to be creative. And finally, task-specific. This is for when there's one right answer, like translate this word. Just knowing which of these three to use is a huge first step.
All right, basics are covered. Now let's get into some more advanced techniques. This is where you really start to see the difference between a good prompt and a great one. This is so important. It's the power of giving examples. On the left, a zero-shot prompt gives the AI nothing to go on. It just has to guess what you mean by simple terms. But look at the right, few-shot prompting. You give it an example. By showing it how you explain gravity, you're not just asking it to explain something else, you're showing it the style, the tone, the format you want. It's a total game changer.
Now, this next technique, chain of thought, is amazing for anything complex. Instead of just asking for a huge wall of text, you break it down into logical steps. You're essentially forcing the AI to think its way through the problem. You're giving it a roadmap, which almost always leads to a much clearer, better structured answer.
Okay, this is where things get really cool. You know how most AI models have a knowledge cutoff? They don't know anything that's happened since they were trained? Well, what if you could connect it to live, up-to-the-minute information? That's what a technique called Retrieval Augmented Generation, or RAG for short, does. It's how you get answers that are actually current. And this prompt shows you exactly how it starts. See how specific that is? We're not just asking a question, we're telling the AI where to go look for the answer, a specific, credible external source.
So this is the retrieval part. The AI goes out, just like a little research assistant, finds those NASA datasets you told it about, and pulls in all the relevant current data on global temperatures.
And then comes the generation part. It takes that fresh data it just found and builds its answer around it. The result? An explanation that isn't just generic. It's timely, it's accurate, and it's grounded in actual, real-world data. This is huge.
And honestly, we're just scratching the surface. There are some wild techniques coming out. Tree of Thoughts lets the AI explore different ways of thinking before it answers. React lets it use tools. Self-consistency has it write a few different answers and then pick the one that makes the most sense. This field is moving so fast.
Now, of course, it's not always a walk in the park. So let's get real for a minute and talk about some of the common hurdles and then where people are actually using these skills right now. Yeah, it's really important to know the challenges. AI can hallucinate, which is a fancy way of saying it can just make stuff up. And finding the perfect prompt isn't always a one-and-done thing. It often takes a bit of trial and error. And getting it to understand deep human nuance, That's still really, really hard. It's a powerful skill, but it's not magic.
But even with those challenges, its use is just exploding. This isn't just for tech people anymore. Businesses are using it for market analysis. Developers are using it to help write code. Content creators are brainstorming. Teachers are building lesson plans. It's really becoming a universal skill for getting things done.
So where does all this go from here? Let's wrap things up by looking ahead at the future of how we talk to computers.
This quote really nails it, I think. The end goal here is to make talking to an AI feel less like you're programming a machine and more like you're having a natural conversation, where it just gets what you mean without you having to be the perfect director every single time.
Yeah, the technology is definitely moving towards meeting us halfway. The actor is learning to anticipate the director. We're going to see smarter tools that help us build the perfect prompt or that can figure out what we want, even if we say it in a much simpler, more natural way. It's all about making the process feel seamless.
And that kind of leaves us with this one big, fascinating question for the future, doesn't it? Is the burden always going to be on us to get better and better at giving directions? Or will these AI actors get so good that they can practically read our minds? Something to think about. Thanks for tuning in.